9/11 and its aftermath. That's what I'd like to talk about in today's history video. On 9/11, obviously, the world changed dramatically. And the fiction that the United States had that we were immune from terror really went away. It was really the modern equivalent of Pearl Harbor. Back before Pearl Harbor, everybody assumed Europe and Japan couldn't get to the U.S. They didn't really understand what aircraft carriers could do. And now, after 9/11, people understood what organized terrorists could do. The big insight that George Bush brought to this was to understand that a terror group could not really be potent unless it was linked to a government organization. It needed the accoutrements of statehood to be able to become strong. In the past, I've used the metaphor of the AIDS virus. The AIDS virus floats around in your bloodstream if you're HIV positive and doesn't do much damage. But when it latches onto a cell, it exploits the mechanisms of the cell and then reproduces and does huge damage to your body and can kill you. Terrorist groups are groups of very bad people, but when they take over a government and use its territory, its territorial sovereignty, its financial resources, its diplomatic missions abroad, its intelligence services, its export-import trade, its military capacity, its ability to conscript an army, when it utilizes all of that, it acquires tremendous power, like an AIDS cell does in the human body. And what Bush did really was to sever terror groups from their state sponsors. And from that point of view, the war on terror has been extraordinarily effective. On 9/11, we were all convinced that it was a matter of days or weeks until Al-Qaeda struck again. And it turned out for 14 years now, they really haven't been able to. There have been shootings, Fort Hood and attempted New York City taxi and the flight over Detroit and so on, the U.S. But there really have not been that kind of mainstream huge terror attack, Boston Massacre and others. So we're really dealing here with a tremendous success record. And all the state sponsors of terrorism have basically been peeled away. Libya's gone, Iraq, we don't control it, and it's increasingly under the sway of Iran, but it's not a sponsor of terrorism. Assad can't really do much in that connection. He's just hanging on by the skin of his teeth. We don't know how long the government in Afghanistan will stay there, but at least the Taliban's not in power. And in Pakistan, we have some degree of control over what they're able to do. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. And Obama, despite a real threat that he would dismantle much of this apparatus in fighting terror, has left most of it alone and in fact enhanced a lot of the surveillance capabilities. He's done some damage by not admitting new people to Guantanamo. But in the main, you can't really fault Obama for a lot of the war on terror. Obviously, in the instance of Benghazi, you can, and he's been horrible. But for the most part, the war that George Bush declared on September 11th has been one of the great success stories in United States history. Thanks for watching.